Yeah, you know that's right. Facebook gaming, the algorithm has been declining significantly. We know your growth has been slowing down. So is it time for you to quit Facebook gaming? Is it time to just quit streaming there and go to greener pastures? You gonna go back to Mixer? Are ya? Are ya? Don't do it. We're gonna tell you what you should do with Facebook gaming and what you should not in this episode of the Digital Drop Podcast. Let's go, baby. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
All right, boys. Here's my make-believe situation that I'm throwing out on the table. So I'm a Facebook gaming streamer. You know, I've had some relative success. You know, I hit 10,000 total views over a couple streams. And then as of, let's say, late August, everything just started going downhill at a pretty exponential rate. So I'm pretty much discouraged from even being on Facebook gaming right now because it requires a lot of attention that the other platforms do not. The algorithm seems to be messing with everybody, whereas, you know, I could go over to Twitch exclusively and not even have to deal with an algorithm. Or maybe I want to play a different game for once. If I try that on Facebook gaming, well, we all know that I'm just going to be screwed on that one, because if you switch games on Facebook gaming, the algorithm says, no, that's bad, Ross. You can't do that. So convince me, why do I need to stay on here, Perrin? What is it that is keeping you locked into Facebook gaming that I need to take a lesson from?
Okay, so first of all, you're falling into the same creator trap that I would say 99% of creators fall into, and you're looking for reasons to quit. Stop. Stop.
He's trying so hard to quit. He's like, where, algorithm, where.
You're looking for every reason to say, it's not my fault that I'm bad at this. It's not my fault that I'm not doing well. And that, you know, honestly, that's the only criteria in the equation that is going to affect anything here. Is Facebook gaming going crazy right now? Sure. But should you give up based off of XYZ factors? Hell no, don't give up. Like, all right, here's what I'm running into. Last week I had a stream on Facebook gaming where I had one viewer. One. I have had streams where I have peaks of like almost 300 or more. And then yesterday I had a stream where randomly I had a peak of 273. It's maddening how volatile it is. And despite my knowledge and how much I've studied it, I have no explanation for that one yet. I just don't. And that's frustrating. But am I going to give up saying, did I give up on that stream where it's like one concurrent viewer? No. We have, as creators, we have this grass is always greener syndrome. This is what I call it, where everything always looks shinier everywhere else except for the place that you're on. And Facebook gaming, the truth about it is, if you look at it from a macro perspective and take all this volatility away, is that there's still organic growth to be had on the platform. It's just really hard to isolate and understand why, and it can be frustrating, but it's there, and there's no other platform where that exists currently. So should you be getting off Facebook gaming? I'm going to answer the stream title really quickly here. No, don't. But there is a lot of trouble happening here. AWOL, what have you been noticing here? What's your take on this? Am I right? Am I hitting a nail here?
Whiny Ross, always whining about Facebook gaming. So yeah, I've been coaching creators now for 10 years, and I've done the same thing too, where when things start to slow down, your expectations as you're growing go up. And so the bar of what you expect to hit as a creator continues to go up along the way. It's the same thing in anything in life. If you're working a job today where you're making $10 an hour, or you were working a job 5 years ago where you're making $10 an hour, and today you're making $100 an hour. If you get a new job and you're only making $50, you're gonna say, man, I'm barely making any money. This job is crap, I should quit, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is you've made a lot of progress from the starting line in this analogy of $10 an hour to 50. Even if it's not the maximum that you hit at one point of 100, you're still making progress. You're still ahead of where you were. And so don't throw out all of the progress that you've made in terms of growing in anything in life, but in Facebook gaming in particular, because growth slowed down a little bit. We've done tons and tons of analysis episodes on all of these platforms, as you guys remember. And they all do, you know, and as platforms mature, they get wobbly in terms of their results. They get wobbly in terms of their concurrent viewership. YouTube in particular is one of those cases as well. And so what you need to keep in mind is that Facebook, as a mature platform now, is going to be wobbling up and down. You're going to be getting organic that's a bunch here, a little bit there, and it's going to be volatile because it is an algorithm-based platform. And so don't throw out all of the progress that you've made because the growth slowed down. That is the number one way to fail. And I think a lot of the time people look at their numbers and they see them in the red and it makes them disheartened. I can understand that. That totally makes sense to me. But what you have to keep in mind is that your numbers may go down for 1 month, 3 months, maybe even an entire year before they go back up. And so what you have to do is diversify not only the type of content you're making, the platforms you're making it on, and how you're making revenue. So that when one thing kind of starts to fall short, you can then put your energy into those other things as well, so that you feel like you're making progress and you feel like you're moving forward. And that's why we're always talking about diversification. So if you put all of your eggs just in the Facebook gaming basket, whenever you look at your numbers and they're looking red, you're going to feel like quitting. But what if you had it in the Facebook gaming and Twitch and YouTube basket, and you weren't just relying on revenue from Facebook gaming, you were also looking at revenue on Patreon and looking at revenue through sponsorships and looking at revenue through merchandise. All of a sudden, you're only looking at one thing out of 6 that you're working on that's maybe slowing down. And you may have 2 things that you're working on out of 6 that are speeding up. That can help you keep the motivation going. So diversification not only helps your business, it helps your motivation.